This is the beginning of the shit show. It's May. Enjoy it.
It's the
If
last
you,
day of May.
if you have small children in your car and you are unfortunately expose them to swearing, I really don't give a fuck. Don't have small children in your car. Don't have children at all. It's not that rewarding a fucking experience. Live your own life and go swimming every day. I'm really joking. I love my kids, but whatever. If your kid's in your car and your kids don't like swearing, again, I don't give a fuck. Don't expose them to me. It's your best bet. If I've disappointed you, you're in a long line of people today on May 30th. So get in line, motherfuckers. How are you guys?
I'm here.
There you go.
I'm here. That's a good way to put it.
I decided that something that really interested me in the moment as I sat down here to talk to you guys was I want to hear, because I'm aware of what my average day is, and I'm aware of the bizarrety of it. I think it's bizarre compared to the average person. So I'm like, I want to know what your guys' average, like, what time do you get up? What do you do? What's your plan? Like, what are you trying to put into action? How many phone calls do you average a day? How many text messages? How many here's test one. How many unreturned text messages are on? Let's play a game and see who wins. Mike, how many unreturned text messages?
I have no unreturned text messages.
No, you're not that busy. Chad,
As of right now, like how many, the number of messages
yeah, it
on my
shows on your
phone?
it shows in the little bottom in a red number how many unreturned text messages you have.
Can
I
you guys
can't
see
see it.
that?
It's all
Oh,
blurry.
oh,
All
six? I got
six.
six.
How
Yeah.
many do you think are on my phone,
23.
Chad?
11.
141.
Wow.
No way.
I'll share there. I don't know if it'll grab
Can't
it.
see it either.
No.
There
Oh,
you
yeah,
go.
just barely.
Anyways, I wouldn't lie about it. There's 141 unreturned text messages
What
on
do
my
you
cell phone.
do you keep them like Pokemon? Like
Oh, it's just
just
so many people text me and I don't give a fuck about them. I could never return them.
what
Just
about your
clients.
email, your unread emails? How many unread
Unread
emails you have?
unread emails in my email box. Is it where does it tell you that somewhere?
Yeah,
I hate that. I hate
I
seeing
hate
numbers
that
on
as
my
well.
email and my
Yeah.
text messages. So
Yeah.
I have 4 unsent messages. I don't even know what that means. I started typing it and got distracted. I think when I was looking at my email box the other day, because it's when I was using Mike's software there. I was like, I need to get my life together. And I looked at my email box and there was, I think, 3,593 unopened emails or something.
That would drive me nuts. I'd pay someone just to go through them and check them out.
Kelly tried, but they come in so fast she couldn't keep up.
Oh,
Then she gave up.
that's one thing that would drive me nuts. I hover at around 10 unanswered emails or unopened emails a day. I try and not let it go past that. Whenever locates come in, I don't open them until I get home at night because then I send them straight to the printer. I feel
That's a
like
good idea.
that's an important part of my business.
I keep on top of emails, but I probably get about 50 emails a day. And then phone calls, I got
You want to have
today.
you want to have that game?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
try that game. Okay.
So I don't do a good job with voicemails. So voicemails I probably check once a week because there's no notification for voicemails. So it's easy for me to forget or ignore.
Is your phone too old to have voicemail come through as a text message?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm glad
I
I don't
have
get that.
that.
I'm glad I
Why?
don't have that.
That's great.
Is it?
I don't answer the phone ever, but it comes through written down as a text message on my phone. It
Okay.
says the person's name and their number and everything. It's
How did you
awesome.
get that?
Call your cell phone provider, I think.
Okay. Actually, yeah, that might
Yeah,
be useful.
that's
All right, phone calls today.
I had 32 phone calls before 9:30.
wow. The life of a bin
One,
king.
two, three, four.
That's wild.
I don't know how many I had. Let's check it out here. One, two, three.
I only had 13. And surprisingly, only 2 of those were likely fraud.
I had 28 calls, 29 calls today.
I had
Wow.
60 by 1 o'clock.
Wow.
How many of them were answered?
All of them.
Oh, really?
I always answer the phone.
Huh.
So I'm up to 70. At 2 o'clock, I had 10 phone calls in between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Holy cow.
I had a Homestars guy call me, and he was like, Mike, I see that we've been calling you over the past couple of years now. Why don't you use our services? And I said, well, I don't need to. I do my own marketing, so I don't see the need to hop on a Homestars plan, which I've heard bad things about, and the quality of leads coming in. And he's like, oh, okay. So should I shut down your account? He was really rude about it.
Did you say, like, I don't know how I got an account, bitch? You probably shut that down. So I got through it. I got 89 phone calls today.
89.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you
I think-
keep up with that? Do you answer them all?
I answer. Yeah, I answer them all.
Ye-
If you call, you could ask anyone. If you call me, I generally answer, or I call you back within 2 minutes.
Wow.
I frequently hang up. I have a couple people I talk to, and they want to like have these go. I'm like, I gotta go. Bye. Boom. I gotta go. I'll call you back.
How long is your average phone call? How long does it take?
I don't know, like maybe 3 or 4 minutes. The average. It depends what's
That's
going.
a lot. Like 89 calls, 3 to 4 minutes. That's like a whole day. You're on your phone the whole day.
My phone isn't working very well anymore. Like it's fucked up. It doesn't get signal anymore, and I was like,
Oh, I
have
get
I
that
been-
too. Are you with Rogers?
no, Bell.
Oh,
It's been losing signal, and sometimes when I type the numbers, the letters don't come up, and I was like, have I worn this phone out? Like, is it done?
Have you worn the phone out?
I worn out
Maybe
my iPhone.
Maybe it's full of dirt.
I know it's full of dirt. I can't
Yeah.
hear because I have it like slammed to my ear, and it makes me think I'm deaf. But one time I smashed the screen on one of them, and then I took it in to get a new screen. And when I got it back, you could hear on it. I was like, "Whoa, bro!
Yeah.
Like, what did you do to this?" And he goes, "Oh,
We
I
cleaned it.
we cleaned it out." And I was like, "Oh, sick, fucking
Yeah.
perfect." Like it was like, yeah,
Uh,
89 phone calls today.
When you're trucking, do you wear like a headset, the trucker headset?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
that's part of it. If I'm driving, I don't return text messages. I'll call people.
yeah,
But like I don't like when I'm driving the big truck, I want to pay attention all the time.
of course.
I am always like I just call people. And then there's a lot of people who call me because they know if I'm driving and I won't respond to a text. So there's that too. So
That's
there's
your
that
response to text live
as I
on the
respond
air
to
right
text.
now.
I'm fucking working on this. So what I want to hear one of your guys. I know what my average day is. I'm really interested to hear how you start from when your alarm goes off. What is the real process? Like I have a process to get through my day. I'm willing to share it, but I want to hear one of your guys first because I want to know what pieces of advice I can take from the two of you to get my 89 phone calls and my 141 unreturned text messages and my 3,600 unopened emails under control. Because you guys seem to be doing a better job than me. Let's be honest. Not that everyone isn't doing a better job than me. But
Chad, you want to go first?
No, let's hear from the man from Toronto.
All right. What time do I wake up? I am, since right now, and for the foreseeable future, I am a one-man show. I'm kind of flexible in the terms of what time I wake up. I do try to leave my house at 7 a.m., but lately that hasn't been the case. So the next best time, because if I don't leave before 7 a.m., I start to hit traffic. So the next best case is I just work when I wake up and then leave by about like 8:30. And if I leave by 8:30 and I go right to the job site, I'm there by 9:45 maybe. And then my day starts, and I usually work till about 6 p.m. because that's 6 p.m. or later, just depending on where I need to be. But 6 p.m. is when traffic dies down and I can go back to Toronto. And that's if I'm working in Kitchener. My day is non-eventful, I guess. There's not a lot going on. And then when I get home, I continue to work. And then I work till about midnight, 1 a.m. And then I go to bed and then I repeat the process there.
Holy shit. When do you sleep? From 1 till
Yeah, from 12,
6?
12 till, well, these past few weeks have been like a blur. So I think I've been waking up at like 8 a.m. and then getting my butt going. So I need sleep. Like I'm not one that can operate on 6 hours sleep. I need like at least 7, 8 hours for sure. So I go 12 till 7, 8 or 1 till 8, essentially.
Wow. What does your
Wow.
wife think of all that work?
She like understands kind of what I'm trying to do, I guess, and she's very flexible on that and understanding, I guess I would say.
That's important.
Yeah, and it's not like we have kids right now, so like I'm working weekends too, not in the field but from home just to keep on top of things and what I've got going on. But yeah, there's no for, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, for like the past few years, there hasn't been, there's been 3 days that I took off for vacation, but other than that, it's been every single day, 7 days a week for the most part, uh, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed work. And I'm not complaining about that. I actually thoroughly enjoy what I do.
Good. Good.
So
Um,
that's a lot of work, and that's why you have no return. And that's why you returned all text messages.
I guess so, maybe, but I only get 13 and you get 90 something.
Oh, maybe that's why you've been. All right, Chad, go.
alarm kicks off at 5 in the morning, and I spend 10 minutes on the toilet and then brush my teeth, get ready, make lunch. Off to the gym by 5:30.
Wow.
I'm
Wow,
there.
that's impressive.
And
That is impressive.
That is pretty incredible that you do that.
I like that.
I
like
it's
that.
more so for my brain than anything, right? So from 5:30, quarter after 6, I'm at the gym, getting my brain started. I got to think for 9 guys, so I feel like the gym is the best way to do that in the morning. I grab a coffee, get to the yard before everybody, plan out everybody's day, tell them who's going where. If it's a new site, I'll run them through what they're doing. Usually they're pretty good for managing themselves at this point, and then I'm off to one of the work sites with them. I'll pick a crew that I feel like needs help that day, and I'll go and work with them all day. Probably spend an hour or two on the phone or answering emails from the truck on the job site just to keep up with things. Usually back at the yard around 5, quarter after 5, pack everything up for the night. Maybe tell everybody what they're doing the next day. Head home, which is like a 2-minute drive from my yard, which is awesome. Dinner, hang out with my family. On Tuesdays we do this, and hit the sack and do it all again.
Nice.
So what time do you go to bed
life.
usually?
Oh, 9:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
Like it's
grandpa.
late for me. This is like whenever we're done recording, like it's shut her down. This is late.
Wow. And then what time, how many hours sleep do you need?
From 9 till 5, so 8 hours. I'm a great sleeper though. Like I could be a professional sleeper. Like I don't think I've had a bad night's sleep in ages. So
That drags me down. I'm terrible at sleeping.
really?
I
Why are
wake
you a
up
light
like,
sleeper or?
well, I'm 50, so I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night at least twice. But you guys, well, that world is coming to you.
Yeah.
Not there yet for you guys, but it's coming, so be warned. And I just suck at sleeping. I wake up at least once an hour. I
Wow.
just roll over, wake up, my brain is going 8 million miles a minute. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot to fucking text this person and tell them what they're doing tomorrow morning. So I'll shoot a text out at 3 a.m. Like it's fucked up. I can't sleep. Yeah, I don't sleep well. But I
Wow.
go to try to go to bed at like I try to go to bed by 10.
Yeah.
And I try not to eat anything far before I go to bed. And I'm usually horribly unsuccessful.
I feel like I can
Terribly.
turn everything off when it's time to sleep. Like when it's time to go to bed, no problems exist. Doesn't matter how shitty the day was. For some reason, I can turn it all off, go to bed, and I'll think about it in the morning, which has to be some sort of blessing, I think.
That is
That is.
absolutely, yeah.
That's
That is just,
yeah,
my brain goes a million miles a minute every day, all day,
Yeah.
yeah.
trying to figure things out. So I usually, you guys want me to run down my day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually set my alarm for 4:30 and hit snooze twice. I get up, I have a shower, I go to the bathroom, I I step on at least one dog and get attacked by one cat every fucking morning. I wake up Kelly, even though I try as hard as I can not to, every single day. Um, then I stumble out of the house and I usually drive to the yard, but I stop and get a coffee. But oftentimes that's fucked up because the Tim Hortons doesn't open till 6. So you have to plan your route around that if it's at before 6 when you get to the Tim Hortons, because that fucking sucks. And frequently I pull up and I've forgotten that it's before 6. And I'm like, fucking Tim Hortons, you stupid motherfuckers. What happened to 24 hours? Stupid pandemic excuses. And then I'm like, fuck. And then I drive to the yard. And then by then, usually I've reviewed everyone's schedule 2 or 3 times, like with the trucks. And then there's been people who've texted me at 10:30 at night looking for shit after I've gone to bed and I need to work it into the schedule because I'm scheduling right now there's 4 triaxles and the 2 bin trucks I schedule every day. And then I schedule the 2 crews. And then I usually we're starting a small, like sort of third crew thing going on this week. So that's kind of added some chaos.
Third crew of what? Brick or trucking?
No,
Or
we got a
what's-
couple little sort of like small, I mean, getting a lot of like, I guess I did the wrong SEO. So, well, actually, it's not wrong. I kind of like them. We've been getting a lot of these little, like, sort of cleanup jobs, like sod a
yeah.
vegetable garden, fucking lay some patio stones, like just some small, but I like them. They're nice. People are happy you're there doing the work. They're very appreciative and the work's quick and you get in and out. And the guys, I have a couple guys that are really interested in sort of like taking a bit more, they want to take a bit more responsibility on and they want to move forward. So I think those
Good.
kind of jobs are a great, like
Entry point for them.
when people want to do that, it's easy to say that, but for them to say it but then when they get involved in something that's too big where they might not be successful, like I'm trying really hard to set people up for success because really, like if they're unsuccessful, I probably didn't lead them down a path to success. Like some people are always going to have to own some of it, but these kind of jobs I think are really good for people that are trying to take on a bit more responsibility. And
I like
the
that
client
idea.
the
Yeah.
client we're working for, um, he sends us photographs of what he wants and then a description at each place. There's some rental properties we're doing for him. So it's great because I print out the booklet, I staple it, I give it to the guy. He has a visual picture of where he's supposed to be working and a list of what he's supposed to be doing. A couple of them are these 2 guys, like 2 of the guys are coordinating on it. It's exciting. I think they're really like they seem excited about the opportunity, and I think that there's lots of gratification in sodding over someone's vegetable garden or cleaning up a back patio and doing a really good job at it. Like, because there's a lot of people that wouldn't. They do a shit fucking job. Making sure your patio stones are square, and there's a whole bunch of little things that go into something that make it look good, regardless of what the materials are. Like a patio
Yeah.
can look fantastic when it's 4x8s if it's well done, and a patio can look super fucking shit with fucking Everest if it's not laid right. People won't notice the material. So, anyways, I try to go to all the job sites every day, and I try to schedule my bin truck around that. And then there's a lot of people a lot of landscapers have logistical problems. So they call me. And then that's really the core of our trucking business is helping people out of their logistical problems. Because if you're not solving people's problems, then they're not going to call you. Like that's the key to a trucking business, I think, for me, is that when someone calls me with a problem, we try as hard as we can to fix it or to work on them with it, because then they'll call us next time. And sometimes they call us when there's not a problem and they just give us lots of advanced warning. But you don't get that client that calls you all prepared unless you've helped them with some problems before. Because on the initial phone call, when people call you, it's normally not a good time for them when they call you the first time. Someone has fucked them over, something's happened, and they're calling you out of desperation because they almost everyone has a guy. Everyone has a guy. And your only opportunity is when that guy fucks up. So I usually solve a bunch of people's logistical problems. Unless I'm doing this, the one day a week I do this, I pick up Paisley usually by 5 o'clock, sometimes 4:30. And then we drive, after I've done all the landscaping stuff, then we drive to Toronto and she does soccer. And then normally we're home by 9:30. And then I do it all again, I guess, the next day. And I get a lot of phone calls and text messages and emails every day, I guess. I've never really done that before. I didn't even think today was a particularly busy day. Like there's 88 phone calls and I didn't think that. I thought, oh, things were kind of slow today. You know, so I maybe I just today I was like, man, this is like sort of bizarre. Like I think that everyone's existence who's in the landscaping business has, like, Mike's working 14, 15 hours a day. Like, how many guys are you managing, Chad? Like
9
sending
of
out
them right now.
two
Yeah.
crews?
2 or
Like-
3. There was 3 today. 3 different crews. I had my old timer. He was trucking for us. We had some trucking work.
Nice.
Yeah, tell me if I made any money.
I don't know.
We're the
Maybe.
so the truck goes out at $90 an hour for a tandem, which I don't know if that's good or not, but that's
So in Toronto, I get 9,500, but
Okay.
that's in Toronto. So I feel like you're doing pretty good for Cornwall, to be honest.
okay. We put, let's say, $200 of fuel in the truck
Yeah.
today, and the driver makes $30 an hour. Insurance is, I mean, it's insured anyway, right? So that's $100 a month or whatever. That's almost peanuts.
Yeah, but so you basically got $20 an hour in fuel,
Yeah, he
and
works
you
10-hour
got
days.
and you got
So
that's 20. And the guy makes 30, so really that's 40.
yeah,
You're at 60, and then say you put $10 an hour into maintenance over every, right?
are these normal numbers for trucking?
Yeah.
Or am I
I think I know. I think you're probably, so I mean, you're probably between 70 and 75. 70 and 70, let's call it 70 just because we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So then you're making 200 a day, 5 days a week, you're making 1,000 a week. And then I mean, really your goal to me, like most people I know, their goal is to clear 5K a month on a truck. That's
really?
a triaxle though. Like if you had a triaxle hauling from a pit, your billing would probably be higher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But hourly's a bit harder. We do some stuff hourly, some stuff by the load, some stuff.
Yeah.
No.
It's hard to hire a tandem hourly, I feel. Or no, but I don't know.
It depends what you're doing, because if you're doing something where a short wheelbase is very advantageous, like asphalting small pathways in a park or through a forest,
Yeah.
or I know some paving companies that only have tandems because
Yeah.
their main focus is small pathways, and they need to get. That's one of the reasons we had a tandem at the old company I worked at, was because with the places we were trying to go with it, wasn't advantageous to have a long wheelbase. So
Yeah.
there's lots of advantageous things about a tandem dump truck. Just
I like a tandem. Like I'm over the moon that we bought it. I think it's a great truck. I think every medium-sized landscape company should have at least one, right?
I
But
agree.
for hiring it out, I don't know. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money, but it keeps somebody busy, and there's, knock on wood, not too many headaches. So
Pays for the truck.
yeah, well, I'd like to think so at least.
Oh
So
yeah.
if it only pays for the truck, are you that much further ahead? I don't know.
How many years would it take for you to pay off that truck? If you were doing PK's numbers 5K a month.
Well, a new tandem is what, 240 PK?
So
Well,
60,
I just got a quote for a tandem bin truck, brand new. It just came in as we were trying to open. I can't open Zooms to save my life. So as I was going back and forth, opening the Zoom 50 times, seeing if it would launch at least once, an email came in for a brand new tandem bin truck, Kenworth T880
Right on.
cabin chassis, which is not a cheap cabin chassis with X15 450 horsepower Allison 6, just so everyone aluminum buds all the way around, much to Caleb's disappointment. There's an argument aluminum's as less and there's a fuel savings over the long term. They weigh less, but whatever. So the truck was $352,000
Holy shit. With the hook?
with the
It's gotta
hook.
be with the hook.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the hook.
How many
XR,
bins does it come with for that price?
0 bins.
Oh,
0 fucking bins.
yikes.
So the math is bad.
How has my truck not been snatched up by now?
I
If
don't
a
know.
brand new one is almost $360,000 and I've got one ready to go out the door, working, running, that's 70K.
Didn't you order bins for it?
Yeah, my buddy took them. So
Oh,
yeah. So
how long were the bins you ordered?
18s?
And how big were they?
Oh,
18 yard,
8
20 yard?
18 feet long by 3.5 feet high.
So probably 18. How wide? 8 feet?
I believe
So
so.
have to calculate the volume there. Come on, Mike. Aren't you the math dude?
Sorry, I spaced out. I don't know what was just said for the
I
past minute or so.
Listen, the last minute of this podcast was so boring I spaced out. Even though I'm on the podcast, I'm physically on it and I'm not paying attention. 18 times 3.5 times 8. So there's 18 times 3.5 times 8. There's 504 divided by 27. So yeah, it's a 18 and a half yard bin, 19 yard bin.
Well,
So that would have been heavy on the tandem.
that would have been
I
heavy.
would not have wanted to load those
They-
motherfuckers all the way up.
We he used
Tell
to
you
get mad
that.
at he used to get mad at his client and spray paint a line in the bin. Don't go over this fucking line.
That
Every
would be
time.
the way to do. Yes. Yeah.
If you do,
I will dump
You
this
gotta-
bin back out in your driveway.
yeah. Oh yeah.
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 So I don't know why your truck's still there because I think that if you're in the bin truck business, $354,000, you can't. The math won't work.
That's
Not
a
that
lot
I'm-
of money to recoup.
The math won't work if bins are like right now we're charging $440 for bins. We can't buy that truck.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I just like it's too either that or. And the problem is that when there's so much old equipment on the market still, that you could conceivably we could buy a used truck for $140,000 and make money at 440. Right?
Yeah.
So I can do that, or I could buy your truck for what, 70 grand? What is it for
Yeah.
sale?
Yeah, something in there.
So I could buy that truck and conceivably I could do bins and make money, even if you allow for like we budget $30,000 for repairs to all the big trucks, except the new one. We allow 10,000 for it. Because it still needs tires and brakes and wear parts and bullshit like the fucking all the fucking wires are made with vegetable oil now because of we're trying to save the environment. So they
And the
rot.
mice love them.
The mice fucking love the vegetable oil. Like, anyways, lights go out. You have to fix them. So, at 30 grand, you pay 140 for a truck. You have 30 grand in repairs. You're still in the good on the bins if you average out the bins. But at 352 plus 10 grand in repairs, You're just not. I don't know. So the problem is until everyone has to buy a new truck, the bin price won't go up enough to justify the new trucks.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to be jammed at, our bin business has been slower this year. And I was at our supplier today who also maybe does bins. And I would guess I know how many bins they own. And I would say that almost all their bins were in the yard too. And their bin truck driver was doing deliveries with a split bin. So I think that I think that when things slow down and people don't have as much work, they tend to move a lot more of their material with their own things to try and keep their people busy.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of now there's going to always be people who call for bins because they're going to have jobs that are a bit bigger, jobs that make more sense. Like it makes more sense. There's going to be people who are hardcore numbers, people who will have less staff and keep doing business the way they were and make money. But I think there are some people out there who are like, well, I'll send my guy who gives him something to do for the day. Same as you just said.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's maybe we're not quite, I feel like we're starting to get into full swing now, end of May. I feel like our company's finally starting to gain some traction, gain some ground. We had a lot of struggles for the first 2 or 3 weeks of May. Things just didn't seem to bounce our way. I think that this week things are kind of turning around. So maybe we're like going to get a bit busier. I've been trying to separate myself from working in the field, and I usually insert myself in the middle of something and then justify me doing that in my mind because there was no other way around it other than if I went and ran the excavator. But 99% of the time those things aren't true, and it's just me procrastinating doing things as I should be doing, and I don't like as much as running the excavator. So this year I've worked hard at actually doing that. So maybe we're just sorry, go ahead.
Do you feel like you could benefit from an apprentice sitting in the truck with you, answering text messages and doing your computer work and shit like that?
Yeah, like an assistant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm an assistant kind of person.
So at one point I had a boss who
Maybe.
he lost his license and he had someone there just to drive him around.
That's a
And
familiar story.
I feel like that's a common old school landscape thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So now you do the opposite, where you still have
One of
your
my-
license, but you have someone do the work while you're
One of my
driving
favorite
around.
landscape stories. I worked with a guy for quite a few years back in the day. This is a long time. When I was like a teenager. And one spring he didn't come back. And then he came back maybe 1st of July. I said, hey, where were you? He goes, oh, fuck. I was in jail this winter. I met a guy, owns this company, wanted me to work for him. Sounded great. So we both got out and we went to work. But the guy's an ass, so I ended up back here. And at the time, it didn't seem that bizarre. But now, looking back on it, I'm like, man, when you need to find landscapers, you just go to jail for the winter as the owner. And then you have your choice of people. When you getting out? When can you start? I'm like, holy fuck. That was more. When I first started, I don't know if it's still a thing even, or maybe it's just when I first started, I bet half the company was doing weekends in Whitby. There was a jail in Whitby by the GO train station, and I bet half the company was doing weekends when I first started.
Wow.
They'd have to be there Friday night, and they'd get out Sunday night. And I don't know if that's still a thing. I don't know if they still do that shit.
I don't know if they do that.
I remember it being like super in my world, which may be a bit obscure, I remember it being super common, all these people doing weekends. Got to do the weekend. No rest for the wicked. Work all week, do weekends in the fucking Whitby. They call it the Whitby bucket. That's
that
what
would
everyone
get me
called it.
out of a lot of weekend work around the house.
Right.
There you go.
Sorry, honey. Got to go to jail this weekend.
2 weekends.
Can you cut the grass this weekend? Sorry, I'll be in jail.
Okay, you guys are younger than me. Have you ever heard of that? Was that a thing in your guys' lives?
I knew one person that had to do weekends.
There you go.
That was about it.
Closest we came was buddy of mine had a landscape company, and he has a really good installer, but he got sent to jail for 2 months or something like that, and they had to push back all the jobs, and the clients were like, "Well, where's this guy?" And they had to say, "Oh, he hurt himself, or he's off this week or something," because the owner didn't want him to say he's in jail right now. So I don't know. I think it must be fairly common for some
I
landscapers to go to
remember
prison.
one time, boss came out and he said, "Where's such and such?" And I said, "He's at confined space training." And he went fucking nuts. "Why are we paying for confined space training? This is bullshit. He doesn't need that." Fucking said, "We all pay for this kind of confined space. Everyone pays. Comes right off your tax base."
Um,
Well, when's he getting out? He'll be out at like he's got a 48-hour hold or whatever it was. Called me. Have you guys ever been someone's one phone call?
like a lifeline,
No, like
Never.
I'm like
On Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
who wants to be a millionaire?
no, I'm talking. Have you ever been the one phone call when someone was like in jail and they
No.
called you?
I don't have friends that go to jail.
I have been the one phone call of
Wow.
people.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then I had to get them out. I had to go there and then be their guarantor, and they had to live at my fucking house. And
No
Maybe
way.
because they know that you
not
answer your
shocking that
phone.
Paisley's mom and I aren't together, is it? When you start hearing about all this fucking shit.
Uh,
Hey, bringing this guy home. I had to get him from bed, but I need him on Monday. I really got a lot of trees to plant. I need this motherfucker. I had to go get him out of jail. Like,
Jeez.
oh man. Yeah.
So last week, we had two of my guys were working together. The guy who doesn't get along with anybody, and the new guy, right? And to my surprise, they were getting along. So Scott, the guy who doesn't like anybody, turns to JP and he says, "You know what? You're doing great. I have no complaints, except for that." And he takes the butt end of our red hammer and he points at his jogging pants, because JP wears jogging pants to work. He says, "You got to get rid of the fucking sweatpants." And I'd been meaning to tell him, like, no sweatpants at work. This is ridiculous. But Scott beat me to it, and JP was so offended. The next day he came in jeans, right? That very same day, another worker of ours, Josh, shows up at the yard in, it had to be like Power Ranger pajama sweatpants. He walks up to me and Josh says, "I have to go home. I forgot underwear."
Oh.
And I'm looking like, what the fuck are you doing here without underwear and in pajamas, sweatpants, or
Are
whatever?
you
And
wearing pajamas?
he
Right.
goes, "I didn't stay at home last night." And it had been a running joke for the past month where Josh is having domestic issues at home, and some nights he doesn't stay at home. So he was saying, "I have to go home and get some underwear."
So, but essentially, he went home that night after work, took off his
Yeah,
underwear, put on his Power Rangers
pajamas.
pajama
Yeah,
pants,
yeah.
and at some point in the night, he left
He left,
after that
correct. Yes.
without underwear in his pajama pants,
Yes, he went to sleep at his parents' place.
and he went to sleep at his parents' place.
But upon showing up at work and telling me that he needs to go home to get new underwear, he goes back to his car and he yells out, "Wait, I found a pair in the car. I'm good."
And then
And so
proceeded to wear the Power
no,
Rangers
he
pants
had
all day.
he had a spare pair of work pants or something.
Mm.
This is the same guy who ties his belt with rope. Like he wears rope, or like he staples his pants closer together every day, and quite a great worker.
Does he wear Velcro shoes?
He wears work boots.
Okay.
No Velcro shoes.
Does he
Nobody
listen to
wears
the podcast?
Not unless I make him in the truck.
Okay.
He's not often in the truck with me, but I got a worker who wears the old guy. He wears those landscape safety shoes instead of like actually
Yeah.
like over the ankle work boots. Those drive me nuts.
Some people have rules. You have to have full ankle,
Yeah.
like full up the calf work boots now.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I
So you
think
can't roll your ankle.
roll your ankle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So we picked up a couple pieces of equipment yesterday. Yesterday.
Oh, the mammoth equipment.
The
Oh,
Mammoth equipment.
yeah.
Yeah, we picked up the Mammoth. We toured the Mammoth facility. Drake and I went out there to get the mini skid. It's the 100X MT something, and 1,300 pound lifting capacity. It's I just got it. It's the facility that these guys have is nice. They have all the wear parts in stock, which says something because I was like, hey, if I blew the front hydraulic cylinder on this thing, how long would it take to get one? And he goes, oh, there's 5 on the shelf up there. I'm like, fuck, I wonder if they fit on my S70 because it takes 6 fucking weeks to get that cylinder from Bobcat. So, anyways, we took the mini skid, and well, Chad, I didn't buy it.
Oh,
It was I have it for a
are you
month.
allowed to say? You don't have to say. You can type it
Wow,
in the
I'm
chat.
influ. No, I'm allowed to say
Okay, great.
Mo. Essentially, what happened here, so full disclosure to everyone, is that Mo from Mammoth Equipment reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, if I gave you a Mammoth mini skid and you can choose whichever dumper you want, buggy, would you use them for a month and make some videos about them and give your opinion, your honest, fair opinion on them?" And I said, sure. So me and Drake drove there and picked up this equipment. I gotta say, Mo from Mammoth Equipment, this motherfucker is a trusting guy. Like, he didn't even have my fucking phone number when we pulled out of there. I pulled out, Drake and I pulled out, and I was like, fuck, I don't think I got Mo's phone number. I got his DM on Instagram. We got all his brand new equipment on the float. So those mini skids are $31,000.
Taxes
They
in?
no
No,
plus
of course.
tax. They have Kubota motors, all Kubota diesel motors. They have
Like it.
all Italian hydraulics, and all the drive motors and stuff are made from a common manufacturer, so they're easy to get. They have all the wear parts in stock, tracks in stock at his shop. So I haven't used it yet. Was in use today. Kyle had it on our Lindsay re and re of the vegetable garden project. And he called me today to say that he gave it a 10 out of 10. He fucking loved it. So
Really?
I'm gonna go up there tomorrow. I honestly, man, like, it's an impressive unit for I think that right now the average mini skid steer is selling for between 50 and 60,000,
Wow.
depending on, and that's a comparable size, 1,200 pound lifting capacity. So we're trying it for a month. So far, so good. The dumper we picked out, Drake and I picked out, is a mid-sized one with and it's a self-loading one. I've never tried one of these self-loading ones.
I've always wanted to try one of those.
Yeah, that's why we picked it. We both thought I haven't felt crazily confident about them,
Yeah,
but I
same.
thought, hey, if we're gonna try something, then the one thing that's interesting about the Mammoth buggies is most of them are on scissor lifts, and they will scissor lift up 6 feet high and dump into bins or onto 1-ton dump trucks.
That's awesome.
Really?
Which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. The buggy that we picked, I think, is somewhere between 15 and 18,000.
That's good.
The Toro one we have was 30, and I love it. I love the Toro one, but it was 30. So we're gonna give this one a try. There's 3 or 4 other models of. They have all different models of. They have one that goes 7.5 feet tall.
Wow.
Like you could almost put it up to a roof and then load it with shingles and bring it down, maybe, or I don't know. It's pretty neat.
What's the capacity difference between the Toro buggy and that buggy?
So I would say the capacity on the big one that I'm talking about just now was probably similar. On the one we picked, I would say it's half. but it's also
Okay.
it's also a much smaller unit, but it's about half. And we're going to try
36
this.
inches wide. Sorry.
That one is 36. Yeah.
Cool. And the mini skid too.
Is 42.
42.
It's a bit wider. It's not 36.
Do they have a 36 model?
They do have a 36 model. It's a bit smaller and doesn't have quite as much lifting capacity. It's
Okay.
also not as expensive. I think it was the smaller one. It's the ones called boxers.
Yeah.
They have like so it looks similar. It has a similar sort of motif to them. I think it might have been between 20 and 23,000. That one. It had a gas motor though. It wasn't a diesel, but and it didn't have as much lifting capacity. But if you were looking to get in and out of a backyard so we're gonna try this stuff for a month. We're gonna make some posts about it, and so far so good. They're really great. So far so like, I mean, we've had it one day, so I guess that's not a terrible, like a great assessment, but I think that the machine, the mini skid we took itself is pretty impressive, but I think what was more impressive was that Mo was prepared to stand behind the machine and had all the parts available if there was a problem. Because I think that when you're buying stuff that's maybe not as common a brand, the worry is what happens if it breaks. What happens if I need a spindle, or I need a sprocket, or I need a pump, a hydraulic. I don't know. I think that for me is where because a lot of machinery just comes down to service, right? Like, but I felt like he was fully prepared to service this machine if there was a problem, and fully prepared to stand behind it. And he had a mechanic on site, which is a good sign. Like, I've been to places where there's no mechanic that have name brands. So, overall, they had a 2-ton excavator there, and they had a 3.5-ton excavator there. We tried both of those. The 2-ton has a Kubota motor, and the 3.5-ton has a Yanmar motor. All fairly common parts. They switch between both controls. I thought Drake and I both thought they ran pretty smooth. So
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'd be really interested if anybody listening to this has one of those buggies that self load themselves, how often that thing goes down, or if it has gone down on them, and how long they've owned it for. That's always been my concern with those self loaders, but I've always really liked the idea, the concept.
I know that Tyler from Xteria and Xteria and Clutch both have those Wacker Nelson self-loading buggies.
Okay.
And they've had them for a while now. I've never seen either of them post saying they broke, but I'm interested because if you're doing a small job and you're dumping some HPB on the road, even if, say, you dump 2 yards of HPB on the road or 2 yards of soil, even if you could self-load 3/4 of it, and the last quarter of it you had to shovel in because it's obviously not like scooping up with a skid steer. It's a buggy. So, I mean, even if you could get to like 8/10 of the soil and you had to shovel the last of it on, to me, that is a fuck of a lot better than shoveling all of it.
Yeah.
I think if you set a reasonable expectation like for it, saying, hey, this thing's going to self-load about 3/4 of the material and we might have to shovel a bit. I feel like if it could do that for us, that's a win. That's what I think. The scissor lift thing is kind of neat. We'll make some videos with that. I've never seen anyone else's buggies that scissor lift to dump up into the bins, but that's kind of a neat concept. To dump up over the side or dump into a 1-ton truck, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or even if you were shoveling material off a 1-ton truck, you could lift the buggy up to the edge of it. So you're shoveling right into it instead of shoveling down.
Right.
Maybe. Or if you had a chute, you could lift it up to the chute. And anyways, I think I'm excited to try the buggy. I think it's kind of neat. And so far the the mini skid steer has rave reviews from our staff because their options were the broken S70 or a wheelbarrow. So, um, I think that, but also I ran it. It's really smooth. It's great. I'm really interested to see how this month takes us. I'm excited about it. I've also don't think I've ever done anything like this before where we've taken some equipment and tried it out and made posts about it. And this is kind of new. This is a different layer of, I guess, Instagramming for us.
This is
that we've never
the launch of PK influencing,
PK influencer.
Wow.
PK
Yeah.
media.
Is there potential for you to buy this unit at the end of your trial
Oh
run?
yeah. Well, I mean, I could buy it tomorrow if I wanted. I'm sure that
Yeah.
Mo would sell it to me. He's in the business of selling equipment.
So after the month is up, are you going to say, "Well, it's used now,
Yeah,
so I
that's
can't give
right.
you
That's
full
what I was
price"?
gonna
Maybe. Maybe after the month's up, if I would say I've had 10 or 12 people legit reach out about it and ask me questions.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of
good.
interest in it. I think that there's a lot of like kickback against the crazy, insane inflation prices that all these big companies are charging now. I think people
Yeah.
are just sort of like mini skid steers before the pandemic were 35 grand maybe for a name brand good one.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Like what did you had MTs before
I had an MT85, which was the model before the MT100. I think I paid, I want to say $37,000 for it. New. It was the first year that the MT85 came out.
so
And then
an MT100 is like 54,000 now.
I paid 41,
But
I think.
this year, if you were to go in and buy one
Yeah.
today, when did you buy the MT100? Your MT100?
2 years ago.
So they've gone up 6,000 a year.
That's insane.
So I think that that's part of the massive interest on this equipment is, I don't think at $31,000 it's cheap equipment. I think that that's still a substantial investment for someone. I think $31,000 is a substantial investment in a piece of equipment. But I think there's a lot of people that are just burned out of like a truck being $354,000 is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends bought a similar bin truck in 2015 and we were just looking at the numbers. In 2015, that truck was $180,000. So that truck's based, and his is a triaxle with a small helper axle. It's not a full triaxle, but like that truck is almost doubled in price in 9 years. And most of it has come in the last 2.5 years.
I priced one just pre-COVID and it was $220.
Yeah,
A tandem hook.
Yeah, and now it's $354.
Kicking myself for not buying it then. But
like I think there's a lot of people that are just tired of it, so they start looking for alternatives. And I think when you look at an alternative, you have to say, how is it going to be serviced? Is there someone with parts for it? Does a real dealership exist? And then the other thing you have to look at is what are the parts? Where did they come from? And so that's a Kubota motor. It's the same as the Kubota motor that's in an MT. Or they used to have Kubota motors. So I mean, when you think about it, I don't know. I think that's why there's a lot of interest because people are knowing their numbers using Mike's software, and they're saying, "Hey, how much more profitable am I if my mini skid steer is 31,000 as opposed to 54,000 or 60,000?" I was talking to someone last week, and they had a mini skid steer from a name brand, and they had 4 attachments with it, and the final bill was $76,000. And I said to them, I paid $76,000 for my T595.
Yep.
What's actually even more interesting is Mo was telling me he's going to be bringing in full-size skid steers next year.
Wow.
I'm interested to see what they're like, to see just how different or because a full size, the comparable to a 595 now is So in 2019, I paid 76,000.
Hmm.
I just literally looked it up because I was entering it into the Hardscape headquarters. So I literally looked up what I was like. Hey, I'm trying to be accurate, and I looked up what I paid, and the same machine today is like 110.
Wow. Yeah.
That's not that long ago. Like we're talking 2019. I haven't even finished paying for the fucking thing. I got 12 months of payments left. Like, it's not even 5. It's 4 years ago. 4 years ago, that machine was $76,000, and now it's like 110.
So when do we see the correction, or is
I
there
don't
a
know.
correction coming? Like, does the whole economy have to shit the bed before we can play catch up here? Or
I think when
because
people stop buying new equipment, you watch the plummeting price of new equipment. Like
yeah,
you can't. I When I was at the dealer looking at the trucks, they had like 4 brand new ones sitting there ready to go, and no one was buying them.
yeah,
Because a lot of people too, like for me, I'd be like, well, I'd rather just keep the 2 trucks I have and keep my business the same size. I don't need to expand
yeah,
my business if trucks are $354,000.
yeah.
That's not worth it. Like, so I think that when you start to see a lot of this stuff sitting around that is overpriced, like I don't, you could debate whether it's overpriced or not, but when you start, that's when there'll be a correction and there'll be. So I've been looking at this truck at the dealer for a long time. It's been there for at least 6 months, 7 months. It's a Chevy 3500 single axle, but it's an LTZ. So an LTZ is like a fully loaded. It's the same as a Denali basically, but the LTZ badging doesn't carry the same weight as a Denali. Like if
Mm,
someone says I have an LTZ, that's not like saying I have a Denali, right? Or I have an AT4. But an LTZ is exactly the same package, just in the Chevy version. So the truck was, when they first got it, this was maybe 6 months ago, it was 105,000, 106,000 or something. And I looked at it because it's black with white rims and I really liked it. And then, obviously things haven't been great for us. So it's not a time to buy a truck. Although seems to be when most people do buy a truck as a landscaper. Like my finances are super fucked up and my business is fucked up. You know how I'll fix my problem? Buying $100,000 pickup truck. Because that's going to make me feel good for about 2 weeks. And then I'm going to realize I'm even more fucked than I used to be. So you're telling me that you never seen that happen to someone?
no, I may
Fucking
have done
breaks.
that
You
before.
may have done that before. Exactly. Yeah.
No, things were way more reasonable. Like I bought a 3-year-old truck, diesel truck, in 2015 for $32,000. It had
Yes.
100,000 clicks on it. Like it was, I had to ask the dealer if they were sure that it was diesel because I bought it in Kingston. I'm like, are you sure this thing's diesel and not gas? Like, why is the price
Yeah.
$32,000 or whatever? He's like, well, that's what it is. And I went down there and it was diesel. I'm like, sold. I paid $500 a month for the thing, I think.
And now they're 100 grand.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
same truck now, that same 2012 is probably $60,000.
Probably.
Yeah.
You probably buy it.
You,
So, but here's what's interesting because I watched this dealership because I've been watching this truck and it's still sitting there 6 months later. It's not sold, but they've started bringing in 2024s. And the 2024 trucks of the same model are like $98,000 because they couldn't sell them at 105. Now, the problem for this dealer is they brought this one in at the higher rates, so they can't lower it to the 2024s. So now this truck is becoming like an anomaly. It's been fucking sitting there forever because now the 2023 truck is more expensive than the 2024s because the automakers have started their correction on what these things are really fucking worth, and they're starting to come down. But when you brought that truck in and plan to sell it at 105, you can't start selling it for $10,000 or $15,000 less because there's just not that much markup in fucking trucks at dealership.
well, but at some point you have to stop the bleeding, right? Like
At
you
some
can't,
point,
like
I'm
you just
waiting.
take the loss and keep
Hopefully they
keep
want to
selling
stop
cars.
hopefully they want to stop the bleeding on that motherfucker around the same time I get paid by someone that has a lot of pools. Let's hope that
That's a lot of fools.
let's hope that when that happens, that truck is still sitting there because I'm like, who the fuck's going to buy it now? You've got a lot full of 2024s, and you want more for this one that's a 2023. But I think that's going to happen with a whole bunch of stuff, maybe that people brought in that, or people are going to be still searching out to get older stuff, or like everyone finds a way to.
They say that the automotive industry is a good initial signaler for market downturns, because when times are good, people buy new vehicles, and when times are bad, people fix their existing vehicles so that they don't have to buy a new vehicle. I think that's the same with equipment for contracting, right? If
Yes.
times are bad, people aren't buying trucks, people aren't buying new equipment. They're just fixing up what they currently have and hoping they don't have to spend that big price tag to keep their business going.
I think when times are tougher too, people aren't looking to expand as much. So, like if you're running 2 crews now and you're filling your 2 crews, then you're going to just keep running your 2 crews.
Yeah.
You're not going to try to go for a 3rd crew or try to split off to do something. Like, I think that's probably happening as well. And then people aren't selling as much stuff. They're not selling as many saws, as many tampers, as many, like, all this stuff that you couldn't get is starting to come back into stock. So,
or companies start to go out of business because they can't keep or they just don't have the work, and then the used market gets flooded, and then people are buying used because they're just trying to stay afloat, and they're not going to go ahead and buy new.
3.5 ton dump trailers and 1500s to galore. Fucking galore.
Yeah.
So you're back alone, Mike.
Back alone. Well, I've got a part-time guy in Toronto. I've got a part-time guy in Kitchener. So I'm just
What
seeing.
do they do the other part-time?
So we talked about the one is a firefighter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the other one is an ex-employee's cousin who just wants the odd job here and there.
Mostly wants to play video games.
I have no idea what he does.
Does it have to be cash?
No.
Okay.
No. It was asked, but I don't do that.
Yeah.
And if I do it, I don't admit it on here. If I do it, that's the last fucking place I'd fucking talk about it. Because
otherwise,
someone's going to listen to this shit.
PK's insurance company is going to rat us out to the CRA, and I don't need that.
Probably they will. I totally fucking agree with you. My insurance company is the first people to download the podcast every fucking Friday. They're literally the first people to download it. So
I have a bit of a problem.